That stairwell, it needs some help. Hold my Diet Mountain Dew.
Hey guys, so if you've watched my game room tour video, you've seen that I'm not necessarily the happiest with the entrance to the game room. So you gotta walk down this stairwell that's just really not all that inviting, and really want to do something about that. Now, I've added a party light to the stairwell, which kind of, makes it a little bit more fun, but this video I think is going to be a little more serious about some decorations that we can add to this stairwell to make it nicer, but also something that you guys could consider doing for your space as well. So I've been looking around for a while now, trying to find different art and just decorations for the game room. I tried Etsy, Pinterest, all that kind of stuff, trying to find different ideas. And I've watched, many game room videos on YouTube, so maybe some of your videos. And one day while I was looking and perusing, I came across something like this, where they've taken the patent images for a PlayStation and printed it out kind of with this gray background. Man, you can get it, in different colors and everything. I thought, boy, that's pretty cool. But they get kind of pricey, right? So if I wanted like an 8x10, just for the print, right, I'm looking at $20, and I don't believe that comes with the frame. So I was thinking about that. Man, these guys are selling other people's patents. So I don't feel too bad at stealing the idea and just kind of printing some out myself, just for myself. So I decided, I'll go and look and see what I can find. So I did a Google search looking, for arcade patent images, and found all kinds of different things. Now, some of these are ones that people have modified to put like the backgrounds on it and everything. One of the ones I came across I thought was really cool is this retro patents. They have all kinds of different stuff, but I really like theirs because they've actually taken and put the inventor's name down at the bottom of it. So, I kind of wanted to, take their design, but I thought, oh, that's original enough and it's neat enough that I'm not just going to take their stuff and copy it. So were I to order some, this would actually probably be where I'd be looking. Their stuff's really cool, and they got all kinds of different things, not just the video games, but computers, different electronic devices. So it's really cool. If you want to just get something printed out and have it done and looking really cool, I would suggest checking them out. However, I went the Google route and just went around trying to find some different patents that I thought were cool. And as I was doing this, I also started thinking, well, you know what? This space is a mixed space. It's also the theater. So I thought, well, I should incorporate that in as well. So I did a search for different sketches and concept art from movies that I could use as well to kind of complement this. So I have a bunch of those printed out. We're going to get right to looking at those. The other thing that I wanted to show you guys, and I'll show you these actually when we go to use them, is I got these monkey hooks. I've never tried these before, but they're supposed to be really easy to put in the wall to hang pictures up, only leave a small hole. So we'll give that a shot as well. All right, well, enough of me chatting. Let's actually look at the prints. All right, so now that I have found the different patents and everything that I wanted to print out, I needed to figure out how I was going to hang them as well. And I had a whole bunch of frames laying around from back when I played City of Heroes. Man, I got some great memories of this game. But I had printed out all these screenshots and had them hanging up at one point, and no longer. They were sitting in a closet. So I decided, you know what? I can use these frames for my patent prints. So that's what I'm going to be using right there.
For the prints themselves, I tried printing them on white paper and didn't really like that too much. So I found some different parchment type papers that I had. Here, let me maybe pick these up and get them a little closer there. You can see this one's got a bit of a copper color to it, and this one's a little more beige kind of color. But what I ended up deciding on was this gray fleck that I have, which I think in the frame really looks cool. It almost looks like it's the dots of the print in the design itself. So this is what I'm going to be using right here. And then you can see it's matted in the frame. Not entirely sure about the mat that's in here. Maybe I'll change this out at some point. But I think this is a good place to start. So as I was looking up the concept sketches and the patents, I started to notice that most of the movie concepts are actually in a landscape format, whereas the patents are in a vertical format. So I'm going to actually be mixing the two together on each one of the walls. So it'll be roughly half and half. Not exactly, because I don't have a completely even number of each. But that's what I'm going to do. And we get started hanging these up. Alright, so as we can clearly see, this stairwell is definitely in need of some patching and some painting. Got all kinds of holes where different things have been hung here. But we're not going to do that yet. First, we're going to hang up all the pictures. And the reason we're going to do that is that gives me the capability to move them around, poke a whole bunch of holes if need be to get them in the right place. And then I can come back later and patch it and paint it. So that's what we're going to do. Alright, so this right here is the monkey hook. I have not used these before, so I guess this kind of serves as a monkey hook review too. So the theory with this and how this is supposed to work is you're supposed to push it into the wall, which is, oh man, maybe easier said than done. There we go. Alright, so now we get it put in there, and then we're supposed to kind of push it up and in like that. Now the picture's supposed to hang on here, and that hook has come up inside the wall and is pressing back against the wall so that the picture is like kind of working as a cantilever, I guess. Alright, so there we go. First picture's hung. Gonna go ahead and go down through here and do the rest. I think what I'm going to do though is start at the bottom down here by this cabinet and hang the one that's going to go there, then maybe one in the middle, and fill the rest in. So we'll see how that goes. Here we can see why I didn't want to paint the stairwell first. So I hung this Thor Ragnarok Death of the Valkyries sketch up prior to hanging up this Death Star one, and you can see I really didn't do that very well. So I'm going to have to move the Valkyries down a little bit so that I have the clearance there. So I hit a bit of a snag here when I was putting this in. I think I'm running into a stud here, so this one won't go in there. That's a bit of a limitation if you're going to be using these hooks. You got to make sure that you're not where a stud is, unlike a screw that you can put right into the stud. So we'll move it over and get it put in. Alright, one more time, why it's good to put these in before painting. It took me 3 tries there to not hit the stud. I suppose I could have used the stud finder and tried to avoid it that way, but I didn't. So there's where I'm at. I got 2 holes to patch. Alright, so I found out that my spacing abilities are absolutely atrocious. So I think I got an idea to help with the spacing. So I'm going to go ahead and set that up, and I'll let you see once I'm done. Alright, so to try to make this easier to line up, I've taken a piece of masking tape and measured off the handrail here to line it up with that. I know from this angle it doesn't look like it, but it is. So I'm going to take the leading corner of the frames and line it up with that edge of the tape to try to get these spaced better and more uniform. I'm pretty happy with how these are lined up. I think they look pretty good, and I'm really liking the idea now that I can actually see it on the wall. Alright guys, so a little tip for you. If you come across a wall anchor like this kind of metal anchor, don't try to pull it out. If you do, the back side of it's got this kind of star thing on it, and you end up with that. So, yeah,
Don't pull those out. Those are probably better knocked into the wall.
So I gotta say, I'm pretty pleased with the monkey hooks. One tip I will give you is when you go to put them in to the wall, they're kind of hard to just push in. So if you kind of wiggle it as you push, that helps you get it into the wall easier. Alright, so I have the pictures hung here actually on both sides of the stairwell now. I think it's turned out pretty well. Now you will notice a couple of them actually just have a little mock-up mat there that I made out of a piece of cardstock that I had, and I gotta get some more mats like this one here. So, but for right now, that's holding the picture in there so that I could get these mocked up and hung in the stairwell to see where they're gonna go. I hung all the pictures up prior to patching and painting the walls so that I could move the hooks around, create additional holes as necessary, and reposition everything without fear of damaging the walls that I just painted. So this way I can just patch those additional holes that I made, and nobody will be any the wiser. I did discuss this with my friend after having already gone down this path, and she suggested that what she would have done would be to cut out pieces of paper the size of the frames and then just tape them onto the wall to find the right position. So that seems like a pretty smart idea and probably a lot more efficient and quicker than trying to put these hooks into the wall and actually hang the frames up. But this method worked for me. I figured I'd mention her method for you because that might be the way you would prefer to do it. There you have it. Got the prints up on the wall. And we'll rotate around here over to the other wall. I think it's a fun idea. I wish I could take credit for it. It's unfortunately not an original idea of mine, something that I found online. So kudos to whoever first came up with this idea. I think it's pretty bright, and I think you can use it for a lot of different types of spaces. Use it in a theater room, a game room, anywhere really. So just change up the prints to fit what you want, and you can kind of reflect your personality by the type of prints that you choose. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please go ahead and hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to see the future stuff that I'm working on. Going to be painting the stairwell and still, trying to improve it more here, as well as working on the game room in general and all kinds of other stuff. Well, thanks for watching. If you have any feedback, please leave it in the comments. I'd really love to hear it. Any thoughts or ideas that you have, that'd be great too. Thanks again. Have a great day.